And I think
Gosh.
that's something we're noticing a lot too, because of everything that's happened during the pandemic, of realizing how separated we were, but really looking for ways to truly connect with other people, and
Wow.
realizing that it actually doesn't have to be in person, that you can have those experiences virtually as well. And
Mhm.
yeah, I think that's critical.
Exactly. And now we're going to your coach part. Tell me about your path as a coach and why do you think it's so important to realize how much we can do with the help of someone in a certain moment, in a particular moment of our lives?
Yeah, thank you for that question. It's funny. I feel like I have actually been coaching forever, not teaching. Like, I do not teach the flute. And I will never ever say that I teach the flute again, because I coach flutists. And that's not the only kind of coaching. So, I mean, I do coach work it depends what day it is and who I'm working with. um, if it's more business and career coaching, or performance, or mindset coaching, executive coaching, we're talking about dealing with the whole human here. And I think that is maybe the real key point, is that as a coach, I can be somebody's external eyes and ears to the full vision of what reality actually is. We can't, even myself, like, I have a coach, I can't see my own blind spots. Otherwise, they wouldn't be blind spots, right? you know, and the idea that we are supposed to somehow be able to see everything ourselves and figure it out all of by ourselves is a little bit silly. And sometimes I think there's a part of our training as classical musicians, or artists in general, maybe, that when we leave school, when we leave our training, conservatory, whatever, that, oh, we should be self-sufficient, you should know everything you need to know, you should be a master of your instrument and have that all figured out. Well, yeah, sure. Except, do we really want to stop learning at that point in time? And it's that attitude of, oh, I should know all of this already. That's like really self-judgment. That's like a lot of self-judgment implied in that, and could be extremely limiting. And, you know, when we leave school at a relatively early age, if we consider the length of our life, sometime in our 20s is pretty young. So, and to like think that we have it all figured out seems like we know that that's not true, right? The older we all get, we're all like, oh yeah, I don't know anything. And I feel like this journey of self-discovery is a forever thing. So for me, I view coaching as something that to help you be who you want to be in 360 degrees, because how you are in one area of your life is how you are in all areas, whether you can see it or not. So if there are blocks internally about what you believe to be true about yourself or the world or your industry, whatever it is, those beliefs and those views are going to impact how you interact with the world, how you show up. And that can show up in personal relationships, in the way you deal with your business, in what kind of fees you are going to ask for, right? Into what you think is possible for you. And so that's why I think it's really so important. And it's also like, a coach is also capable of holding you accountable. When you say you're going to do something, they're like, did you do it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, I'm about to. And to like, just to be that support. And going back to this idea of like, we leave training, we think we're supposed to do it alone, or we go back for lessons as if the only thing we need is to improve our instrument. Well, what about the whole rest of us? We have to go with ourselves as an artist, like who we are as a person. And we have a model for this already. Sports. You never, ever, ever see a professional athlete without a coach. And that includes like everybody. I mean, I don't care how many Grand Slams Federer has won. you know, he still has a coach, you know, and it's for that support and those moments when we have down moments and we need somebody to like help us see ourselves in a different way, to help us empower ourselves. And so I feel like it's an extremely empowering experience to have that support, and to provide it for somebody else is the most amazing thing. To see somebody else really step into the full power of who they are, to see them so joyful at being able to be who they are and create the things that feel good to them and step outside of any kind of limitations that might exist. That's incredible.
Yeah, how many possibilities we have. What is your experience of the group thing? Because we as musicians tend to be a bit isolated, and we're afraid of being in a group because we've been trained to be separated, more or less. More singers, more than any of you. But in general, we tend to be isolated as musicians. So tell me about this group experience and what it meant to you.
Oh, yeah. I think the power of community is so important, and realizing you are not alone in your experience is so powerful. And the idea that you're right, it's like we're almost afraid to be seen at our messiest when we're, or if we're struggling. It's, as musicians, like a private lesson. You know, because we can't let anybody see our weaknesses, but everyone's got weaknesses, and some of the most profound statements have come from colleagues in a group setting, you know, from members of a cohort of a similar experience or an observation that they were able to make. And that's so empowering to you as the person who can observe something and help somebody, and as the member of that cohort, to feel, to know and understand that your experience is not unique. And I mean that in the most loving way possible. Like, we all struggle and we all have similar, you know, fears and wants and desires. And to have that community, it's great to know you're not alone. Yes, the work you have to do is your own. Yes, you know, the responsibility is on you to do your own work and to go do your own path, to take your own path, but you can do it with others as well. So, you know, I do one-on-one coaching and group, like individual coaching for flutists or just humans. It doesn't have to be about the flute, you're involved the flute specifically. And then, yeah, these group programs and also group programs for coaching. And then the Sonic Immersion is very focused on lots of different group experiences with the instrument, as well as some one-on-one work there. And that was the most incredible part of that program this summer, and something that was commented on a lot by the participants, and that it was really life-changing to have that experience with people from like 8 other countries, to realize that they were not the only ones who were experiencing these things. And they now have this incredibly bonded community, which is super cool. And they work together now. Like these alliances are formed, and these like partnerships are formed, and they try stuff. And I mean, that's so cool to see. And we need more of that, like working together on things and seeing each other, not seeing each other as competition, you know, of that, like trying to like one up each other or something like that. Like that's not helpful to the world. And we all have something really special to say that is, you know, unlike anybody else's, what anybody else has to say. And let's hear it. Let's like the biggest version of who you can be. Let's hear it. You know,
this is so beautiful. Yes, let's keep creating communities and this bonds together. So
I mean, humans are designed like humanity is meant to be communal, not isolated. And the kind of vulnerability that can be experienced in an intimate group setting that is carefully constructed, that kind of like, it's a level of intimacy, of emotional like exploration together that's so needed in this world. And I think
Gosh.
that's something we're noticing a lot too, because of everything that's happened during the pandemic, of realizing how separated we were, but really looking for ways to truly connect with other people, and
Wow.
realizing that it actually doesn't have to be in person, that you can have those experiences virtually as well. And
Mhm.
yeah, I think that's critical
Yeah,
for
exactly.
humans.